Well, we're at the time now where a lot of rumors starting to swirl. Now we're talking trade candidates right now. Bleacher Report has put out a list of trade candidates for the Philadelphia Eagles, whether it's before training camp, during training camp, before the season starts, you name it. There's going to be some names here. I'm going to definitely read them off and obviously go through why it would make sense, not make sense. There might be a time where the Eagles and Howie Roseman might sit there and say, you know what, there might be a player on this roster right now that has one more year left on their contract. And if they feel that they are not a future piece for the Philadelphia Eagles, that they're not going to re-sign, they might try to get some compensation for certain players, when they're playing pretty damn good right now, at their peak right now. But we all have to remember, you got to be careful doing this because, this is a crucial year for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is we're trying to get a team together. We're not trying to get rid of assets to get just draft picks for next year. Okay, so I kind of want to go over that list really quick for you guys, and kind of go through some of what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So we'll go through this whole entire thing. Now, first on the list is the one that everybody probably has been talking about, and we're all going to find out what happens when training camp starts. It's James Bradberry. Okay, played great in 22 when he, came to the Philadelphia Eagles, did a fantastic job, and just kind of fell off last year. But a lot of defensive players have fallen off last year because of the coaching direction, the way we practiced. Okay, no sense of urgency. Eagles defensively couldn't handle any type of adversity. We know the issues there, but this is just for me. You're drafting Quinyon Mitchell. You're drafting Cooper DeJean. Okay. You have Isaiah Rodgers eating at camp or eating at mini camp and OTAs. No full pads. We all know this. Take it with a grain of salt. Making plays like crazy. Okay. You have Keely Ringo. You have Eli Ricks. I mean, you have a lot. Tyler Hall. You have a lot of cornerbacks. We're in the perfect position as a group at cornerback right now for the future. The youth movement and the rumors of James Bradberry moving to safety, is it because that they are really trying to change his position and just try to get his value up to trade him? Or do they just not even trust him at corner at this point? I guess we'll find out when camp starts, but the James Bradberry stuff, there's fans that want to keep him and there's fans that want to get rid of him. Me, on the other hand, I want to get rid of him because if other corners are outplaying him, especially during training camp, then I'm going to have a big problem if he's still on this roster. Okay, because if I get into that Green Bay game in Brazil the first few weeks and he's playing that bad and no other corners getting an opportunity, and just to tell you guys, you keep Bradberry, there's going to be another corner on our roster that's going to go somewhere else because when you keep Bradberry, you're going to have to get rid of a young cornerback. And that corner is going to leave, and that corner is not going to last on our practice squad. They're going to get claimed. They're going to go off waivers. They're probably going to get claimed, and they're going to play well somewhere else. And I do not want to see that happen. I do not want to go through that because if James Bradberry is not a future piece, which I know is not a future piece. So if you flat out release James Bradberry, it's $15.2 million against the dead cap. So not great. And you'll only save like $1.2 million this year. You're not saving much money with James Bradberry. If you could try to trade him, obviously this is the offseason where there's going to be guys that get hurt from other teams. There's teams that need veteran cornerbacks. And if there's one out there, and I wouldn't say $15 million is a lot of money, they could probably split it up. If they extend James Bradberry's contract, cut him, split that dead cap, split the $15.2 million up in a couple years, a few years, whatever loophole that Howie Roseman can figure out. I'm sorry, but I can't see this. Him staying on the roster just makes no sense to me. I'm sorry, but I feel like already from OTAs and minicamp, we're not even in full pads right now, and other corners are outplaying him right now. They're just, and plus Bradberry ended up getting hurt. I mean, he got hurt at the first or second play of, I think it was OTAs. I mean, he wasn't even healthy for missed all of the rest of OTAs, and I don't think he really played that much of. I think he missed all of training camp. I don't even think he even. Sorry, all of mini camp. I don't even think he practiced at all at this point. So already an injury has occurred with him already. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I know everybody is flip flopping around, going back and forth on this situation, but it's going to be really interesting going forward. Which I think is, 100%. Bleacher Report is right. James Bradberry, huge. The number one trade candidate in Philadelphia is 100% James Bradberry. Now, second, this one is really interesting, okay, because I think we've thought about this in the past a little bit. Kenneth Gainwell, 25 years old, good rotational back. Obviously, the way they've used him like he's some type of dual threat. We know it. We know what Gainwell could do. Okay. Most of these running backs that leave Philadelphia don't end up doing much anywhere else because this offensive line has really paved the way for these running backs to either get another contract or be signed in free agency by another team after they walk. Okay. Because I'm sorry, but there's a lot of players, a lot of running backs that we've had in the past that have left Philadelphia, have done absolutely nothing. Wendell Smallwood left the Philadelphia Eagles, didn't do anything. Josh Adams left the Philadelphia Eagles, didn't do anything. Besides like Jordan Howard and some of the other guys that that we've had. LeGarrette Blount played for a year in Detroit and then he retired. So because of how beefy this offensive line is, and we know how to produce offensive linemen. We've been drafting really well, producing for years, and it's just always been, catered to the running backs to make it a lot easier. Miles Sanders, is now the third running back with Carolina. That's probably going to get cut right now. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Now, if they feel like Gainwell is not going to be a future piece and they feel like they don't need him this year in the rotation because obviously Saquon Barkley is here now. They could take a lot of reps this year, get a lot of snaps as a receiving back, rushing obviously. We know what Saquon Barkley could do. You drafted Will Shipley as well, so as another dual threat, just fix the some of the drops, fix some of the fumbles that he's had, but athletically, Will Shipley could be a number two back of the future in Philadelphia. Kenneth Gainwell will not be re-signed after this year. I think we all know that. But you have Kendall Milton as well, another guy that I really like. A bruiser back in Philadelphia, finally, right? North and South runner. I want to see how elusive he actually is because he's looked a little bit elusive on some of that Georgia tape. I wouldn't say he's more of an East and West type guy or a receiving back type, a couple catches here and there, nothing much. But if you want a bruiser in Philadelphia, here we go. A red zone threat, here you go. Because, Rashad Penny was totally wasted. Even though he can't block for his life, at least you could have used him for red zone. I miss having LeGarrette Blount in Philadelphia. I miss having that bruiser back, tiring out defenses and really balancing out the pass, keeping defenses on their heels. Having multiple running backs in the backfield would be great too, and kind of mess up with the defense a little bit. So I really like Kendall Milton a lot. Now, obviously, you have Tyrion Davis Price that we picked up at the end of this past year, and he's really hasn't had an opportunity, a bigger type back, I guess, at 230, 227. I mean, not that big of a back, but has really just not had the opportunity. So if the Eagles feel like Kenneth Gainwell is a big trade chip and they feel like, you know what, we could probably get a draft pick out of him, what you're going to get at 25, I think you can get probably a 5th round pick, maybe even a 4th rounder or something like that. Maybe not even a 4th rounder for next year, maybe for 26 or something. I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you're going to get a draft pick for 2 years down the road, I wouldn't even touch this. I don't even know, to be honest with you, if Gainwell would be perfect to be traded right now, just because of the situation we're in. I don't know if getting rid of him is the smartest thing to do. So I'll leave it up to what the Eagles want to do here. But to me, I feel like he should stay unless you're getting a big offer draft compensation wise for him. And, if we didn't have Saquon Barkley, then, obviously keeping Gainwell, they would have to keep him. But even with Saquon here, I feel like, Gainwell has been here. Okay, Gainwell has been here the longest out of all the running backs in Philadelphia as of right now in this group. And you want to keep a guy that knows maybe some of the playbook. They're going to replay a little bit and what Kenneth Gainwell is good at. How many snaps is he going to get? Because most likely he is the number 2 back right now. Will Shipley will definitely garnish that position behind Saquon Barkley by the end of the year, most likely. So we'll see. So I'm not really a big fan just to get a 4th or 5th rounder for Kenneth Gainwell, just for a rotational back. And are there actual teams out there that really have that much interest in him and that they will actually put him in a rotation for a specific offense? Obviously, like I said, with all these players on this list, guys do get hurt in this offseason program. So the Eagles could come up with some ideas. If a team loses a corner, a team loses a running back, the Eagles might say, you know what, you could have a chance to trade one of these guys and get some compensation if that's the case. But for me, as much as I've not really criticized Gainwell, but criticized the way they would value Gainwell over DeAndre Swift. They would value Gainwell over, they treated Gainwell like he was some dual threat back last year, gave him more opportunity at times. DeAndre Swift got his first 1,000-yard season last year, but right behind that, Swift could have done 3/4 more of what Gainwell was doing to take his spot and subbing him in on specific plays and going nowhere with him at times, but still a fantastic rotational back, no doubt. Solid back. So I would say I would have to deny this. I wouldn't move him anywhere. Probably makes really no sense. We talked about the other running backs as well, and the competition should be pretty good. So can't wait to see more in training camp with them. Next on the list is a big no-no for me, and that's going to be Josh Sweat. Yeah, Bleacher Report has Josh Sweat, I guess, on the trade block for the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me tell you something. We already talked about the edge rushers the other day. I am not getting rid of anybody, okay? Josh Sweat, he had 37 quarterback pressures last year, okay? 37 quarterback pressures. He had 11.5 sacks, in 22, and then 21, he was a Pro Bowler. 26, 27 years old as of right now. I mean, he's still very young and will not be a Philadelphia Eagle after this year. We already have enough issues at edge rusher this year. We already have enough issues on which guys can actually dial back in coverage. We don't even know what guys can really cover right now because we haven't hit training camp yet. Josh Sweat in coverage, I can't really see it. I don't know if he's even going to be good at it, and it really has shown that he hasn't been great at it either. Athletically, as an edge rusher, he's just better at attacking and getting after the quarterback. Okay, I think that's what we're kind of looking for with him. But this is a big no-no for me. There's no way I'm trading probably our best pass rusher at this point. I mean, probably at this point. Bryce Huff is good, but obviously Josh Sweat has a bigger resume and better statistics, and we've seen what he could do. Do not, and I say this to all Eagle fans, do not point out it's Jordan Davis's fault, it's Josh Sweat's fault. All the players were horrible. Yeah, the defensive line was bad. We can't stunt. Never ran stunts, never blitzed, and when we did, they didn't know how to. They didn't know how to because they practiced soft, which they play these games soft. No sense of urgency, just a big mess, a total mess. I can't blame one player on that defensive line. The way they were coached this, last year, ridiculous. How are they supposed to go after the quarterback when 8 to 10 yards off the ball, you're getting easy 5 to 10 yard receptions. I mean, how are they supposed to get any type of pass rush and get to the quarterback and do anything? So we're already having enough problems. I'm trying to add bodies to edge rusher. I'm not trying to get rid of a guy like Josh Sweat right now. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's definitely not going to happen here. So that's a big no-no for me. I don't even have to go through that one at all whatsoever. So other than that, guys, that's really it. That was pretty much the whole entire list. We had James Bradberry, we had Kenneth Gainwell, and we have Josh Sweat as your 3 candidates that could be traded before training camp, during training camp, before the season starts. If the Eagles feel like there's a player here that they could say they can get, that there's value, and but if this team was rebuilding, it'd be a different story. Then I would say, yeah, sure, trade one of them, try to get some draft picks. We need a high draft pick. I don't know. But I'm not doing that because of the situation. And this is, offensively, this should be a top 3 offense. And defensively, Fangio's got a lot of work to do once we hit training camp and to see what we have on this roster when it comes to a lot of positions. And to see what we unveil defensively of how this defense is going to look. Is there going to be structure? Is there going to be, you know what I mean? So there's a lot going on with the defense right now. But running backs, I'm not touching that position at all. I think they should leave it the way it is. I look, if God forbid, like, who knows, somebody, we might need Gainwell. I don't want to get rid of a guy like that last year of his contract. I'm not into trading him. I feel like, if God forbid Saquon Barkley, knock on wood, gets hurt, God forbid, Shipley gets hurt or something, and Gainwell needs more snaps, and God forbid you trade him, and then you have other injuries that occur. At least, Gainwell might not be the best back, but he has the most experience in this offense with these players. He's played with this team the last three seasons. And has done a good job as a rotational guy. And when we need him the most, he's panned out for us at times. So I don't think he's a bad player. As much as we, sometimes complain about him getting more opportunity than other running backs at times, we kind of get into that mode a little bit. And hopefully, Gainwell does shine going forward. And we know James Bradberry and what's going to happen, or what we hope that's going to happen. I mean, what's on their minds right now? As soon as they said we're putting him to safety, I was kind of already saying, yeah, they're trying to get him out of here. I sorry, but that man is not athletically sound. That guy is more of a zone corner. We all know that Bradberry is a zone corner, and I don't know. Maybe with better coaching, they think maybe he has a better shot playing somewhere else. I just can't believe it. To me, I just think it's a fairy tale. It's just something that's made up right now. So we're gonna find out a lot of things. And if you guys haven't checked out the Philly Shakedown podcast merch, definitely check it out. Link in the description below. We have a big release coming. A lot of merch coming out next few weeks. We're going to have a release date really soon on some stuff me and Philly have been cooking like crazy. But definitely check out the store if you guys haven't, because now we have sleeveless men's and women's shirts, which is awesome. Kelly green, white, black. We put a lot of time into the merch on the designs with our brilliant artist, Omar. Fantastic job. And we're going to have some crazy stuff coming out by the end of July and the start of August. We're going to have some more crazy stuff coming out. So definitely check out the store and definitely be excited because we're ready to go. And I'm ready for training camp. When is training camp? Let me check my watch. I mean, damn, I feel like the more I think about it, the slower the days are going. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about the list of trade targets, or not trade targets, but the list of trade candidates for the Philadelphia Eagles. Does it make sense? What do you guys think about James Bradberry? What do you guys think about Kenneth Gainwell? Would you, try to, get some draft picks for him, or would you keep him on the roster right now? That's where we're at. So that is the trade candidates, and I hope you had a fantastic day today. And that's it. Nothing to say. Hello, goodbye, see you later. Shakes, what up, follow, slide, peace out, guys. Peace.